Today we're going to talk about something incredibly important, you guys. We're going to be talking about shadow management versus shadow integration, two very different approaches, two very different things. The former is the first step. The latter is the second, the more advanced step as far as shadow healing, shadow work. Now, this is important, you guys, because in the spiritual community, it is prominent to learn about the importance of remaining high vibrational. The problem with this is that it's not always fully authentic. It doesn't contribute to fully processing negative emotion, negative experiences, traumatic experiences. And it can be detrimental to relationships, to you. Now, let me give you guys a personal example. I'm actively working on deeper shadow integration. The reason being is this: as a spiritual figure, as a Leo moon, as a gregarious, bubbly person, what was happening when I was hurt, when I was betrayed, I was always wanting to be the bigger person and forgive too quickly. What this was leading to was these emotions being processed later, my true feelings coming to the surface later because I was no longer repressing them. It's repression. Shadow management is repression. It's not proper processing. Okay? So what was happening was these emotions, these resentments, this mistrust was coming to the surface later and was causing me to detach, separate, distance myself from someone. And it might seem random. It was not emotionally random, mind you. But if you forgive too quickly before you're able to fully process the trauma or process the negative emotion will arise later, or the shadow aspect. Now, let me get into this as well. The shadow does not necessarily indicate the dark side or the side of you that is low vibrational or below the line or so on and so forth. It is simply the aspect of you that the light shines on less often. So this can be reversed. You can be someone that tends to be in a more low vibrational state. So all of this is going to apply to you in the reverse. It's going to be important for you to start integrating and implementing the higher vibrational aspects of you. Because like I said, this is all about authenticity. This is all about honesty. This is all about allowing yourself the time you need to properly process emotions and situations, okay? So that you can be honest, truthful, right? Without shame, without guilt. That's another important aspect of this. If I, at the time, would have simply said, you know what, I hear you, but I'm not ready to forgive you yet. Or I hear you, but I need more time to process this. Or I hear you, but for now, let's go our separate ways, or let's maintain this distance because I'm not ready to allow you back in, right? But instead, because of my nature, I tend to want to put other people's emotions first because I don't like to hurt people. I like to be compassionate. I like to see things from other people's perspectives, right? And forgiveness oftentimes comes with that. But the problem is later. Resentments build. Emotions continue to culminate, cultivating of negative emotion towards these people, right? Actually being honest with myself now, actually paying attention to how I truly feel about the matter now, right? Self-worth rising. And because all of this is a healing journey as well, as my self-worth rises, so does my lack of giving a flying F about how you really feel when it comes to you not caring about how I feel, right? It's a journey, you guys. It's not linear. But if we can be more authentic, more truthful, whether it's assertive, whether it might seem mean or rude or bitchy, right? We need to get over that hump. So shadow integration is not about repressing in any form. It's about balance, finding that authentic balance, embracing that dark side of you or that light side of you if you're living too much in the dark, right? Embracing all aspects of your personality. walking 10 toes down in that energy. But being mindful when doing such things, being mindful when choosing to be assertive, being mindful when choosing to be kind, not doing it out of a people-pleasing mentality or a fear of abandonment or a fear of rejection. No, right? And conversely, right, alternatively, not being too rigid out of fear, right? Or out of mistrust, right? These are all associated with inner child wounds. You cannot do shadow work without inner child wound work. The reason being, inner child wounds are directly associated with the ego. I've told you guys before, because it is the ego that's programmed by previous traumas, previous experiences, right? So inner child wounds are directly associated with said ego. And it is the ego that titrates the shadow. It is the ego and the ego's programming that gives the shadow permission to integrate, to move forward, to present itself, right? Especially if you have a lower vibrational shadow, because your persona is more gregarious, so on and so forth, more bubbly, more lighthearted, more high vibrational, right? Positive, so to speak. So, in closing, one final keyword that I'm going to give you guys when it comes to proper shadow integration is truth. If you are moving in truth, if you are making decisions in truth, kindness and being nice don't have to be at the forefront. But mindfulness needs to come with that, because you need to be mindful about why you're saying something. If it is for the highest good, it doesn't have to be nice. If it is honest and for the highest good, if it is truthful and for the highest good, use that as your moral ruler when it comes to shadow integration, because a lot of things you've been programmed to think are bad or wrong, right? You don't want to be assertive. You don't want to ruffle feathers. You don't want to hurt people's feelings. You have to throw that out the window when you're doing shadow integration. So all those Buddhist mantras, let it go, just release it, let it go. Yes and no. That's shadow management. That's not shadow integration. That's not properly processing negative emotion. That's not properly processing trauma. That's not using discernment from these experiences after allowing yourself to process how you truly feel, even if the emotions that are arising you've been taught are bad, quote unquote. No, you need to allow yourself to process them and then use discernment and that sword to cut the people off that deserve to be cut off. Remove the people that don't deserve to be in your energy, in your circle, in your field, because this is about leveling up. This is a spiritual journey. This is about ascension, my loves. Everything I talk about, we're talking about the path of ascension. You cannot rule, you cannot walk in your energy as a divine masculine or feminine if you are inauthentic, if you are people-pleasing, if you're afraid to ruffle feathers. Those are not the qualities of a true leader. We need truth, honesty, strength, resilience, discernment, and the ability to burn bridges, let people go that don't deserve to be around you anymore. And healthy people. Why would you want to hold on to unhealthy people? If people hurt you, if people have wounded you, they're typically unhealthy. There are always exceptions, sure. But for the most part, it's unhealthy people. And it's that fear of letting people go or being programmed to think a good friend stays through anything. That's not true. So you're going to be holding on to people and keeping people in your energy field that shouldn't be there. Shadow integration, truth. Welcome all aspects of yourself. And be the true powerhouse God needs you to be. You will ascend, you will level up. You will see greater.